I realized that it wasn't going well when we hit a stop, and then I seen water kind of coming up and gasoline running from the wing.
It's a very close call for passengers on board a Delta jet that skidded off the runway and then crashed through a fence at LaGuardia Airport. Good evening. I'm Kristine Johnson.
And welcome back. I'm Maurice Dubois. The Delta plane came to a stop with its nose hanging above Flushing Bay.
The jet had just landed, carrying 127 passengers and 5 crew members from Atlanta. The Port Authority says the plane made it down most of the runway, but then went out of control. No one on board was seriously hurt, but passengers definitely shaken.
The plane came down and it slid, and then it took a spin to the left, and we looked out the window and we could see the wing was hitting a fence.
We thought that we were in the water. Everybody thought it was in the water then.
What do you think when you see this? Get ready to swim.
Thankfully, it didn't come to that. Rescue crews guided people off the plane by sliding down the wing. The Port Authority says just before this incident, 2 other planes had landed safely on that runway. Joining us now from LaGuardia Airport is aviation expert Phil Derner.
And thanks for joining us, sir. At the time of the accident today, you say that the flight landed on a runway used less often than other runways. As we try to figure out what happened, why in the world is it that this one is used less than the other runways?
Well, one part of runway 13 is that when they use that, the aircraft coming into New York then start interfering with other airports in the area. New York City airspace is very tight, very congested. And when they're using runway 13, Newark Airport is unable to bring in arrivals from the south. So in situations like this with snowy days, the airport at LaGuardia will want to use a runway that is clear, plow the other one, and then when that's all clear, they can switch runways and keep that shuffle going. It just so happened that the wind conditions and the snowy conditions that were out there favored runway 13 at the time. There's actually no real significant safety hazard at all with them using runway 13.
Is there anything different about runway 13 than any of the other runways?
Runway 13 is actually very similar to all the others. It's got the same length as any other direction from the opposite end, or runway 422. So there really isn't too much of a difference. It's just not used very often just because of the airspace conditions in the New York City area.
Based on what you know right now, I mean, NTSB investigators are just, getting their investigation underway. They're about to. What do you imagine may have happened here based on the facts as we know them?
Well, it's very early to speculate. We don't really know exactly what it was. We can't just say it was weather because braking action was reported good by aircraft just before this one. The visibility was legal and totally okay with all FAA regulations and requirements. There was a slight tailwind, a slight crosswind, but nothing out of limitations or anything that aircraft should have been able to handle. So nothing's really jumping off the page just yet that would point to exactly what might have caused this, but it's really anyone's game. It's too early to speculate at this time.
Okay.
Aviation expert Phil Derner, thank you for joining us, and we'll have much more on this coming up tonight at 6 o'clock.